All right, what is going on, my people? What is going on, my people? Let me get the stream all set up. Get it going on Instagram here. Insta, you coming? You coming? All right, we're all set. What is going on, everybody? Thank you very much for tuning in. Lakers over the Dallas Mavericks, 107-99. I don't know. Am I jabbing on this one? I don't know if I'm jabbing in this one. This was a much tougher game than I thought it was going to be. But still a W for the Lakers. At the end of the day, that's all you're trying to do. Stack up as many wins as you possibly can. I appreciate you guys tuning into the post-game show. We got a fun show lined up. A lot of things to hit on in this one. Much more competitive game than I thought. Much more physical game than I thought it was going to be. Give the Dallas Mavericks some credit. But Luka Doncic gets a triple-double for the Lakers. So obviously for the first time playing his old team. Not that it was perfect basketball from Luka by any stretch of the imagination, but 19 points, 15 rebounds, 12 assists, 3 steals, 2 block shots. And if that's considered an average game, I wish I was average in my life and in my career as well. Bron, 27 points. I want to say 14 just in the fourth quarter, 12 rebounds, 3 assists. Did have 6 turnovers, so keep that one in mind. Not his best game from that perspective. And I want to also point out Austin Reeves real quick with 20 points, 5 assists, and 3 rebounds. Lakers get the win. Kind of an interesting game, right? By the time the first quarter is done, it feels like, hey, Lakers going to take control of this game. They're up 8. Right before you got to halftime, Lakers would go up, I want to say they go by 16. I know that was the biggest lead that the Lakers had in the game was 16. So they started doing a lot of their damage right before the first half ended. And then Dallas went on, I want to call it a 12-4 run to close out the second quarter. And then after that, it felt like it was kind of a dogfight for about another quarter and a half after that. Both teams going back and forth. Dallas, I don't think ever took the lead in that second half. I don't think they ever had the lead in the second half. I know they had a 1-point lead in this game, but every time Dallas looked like they got close, Klay Thompson went on a stretch there where he had it going. Kyrie was fantastic. Spencer Dinwiddie would hit some big shots for them. But Lakers had a response. I thought both squads were actually playing pretty damn good defense for the most part. I thought both teams were rotating very well. Both teams were playing high up on the ball. Both teams were trying to double the other stars. And Lakers just had a few other players from, obviously from an offensive perspective that they just had more weapons. I mean, that's the reality of it. We know all the players that the Dallas Mavericks didn't have tonight. So I give a lot of credit for Dallas for making it a game, but also give the Lakers a lot of credit for walking away with the W. So a lot of different things to hit on. I think for me, I think the thing that probably stands out the most, just as we start the game, it's all the hype behind the Dallas Mavericks. It's all the hype about Luka. I saw some videos taken pregame or photos taken pregame. People were taking photos. Nico Harrison was there. So naturally, there's going to be a lot of hype to this game because of all those reasons. But I thought, what I was hoping for was at the end of the day, it could just become a basketball game. And we didn't have to make it too much of a story just about Kyrie or just about Luka taking on his old team, the Dallas Mavericks. Because really, at the end of the day, what you wanted here more than anything else is you wanted a win. I mean, Lakers are playing Dallas. They're coming off the win on Saturday night against Denver. So in this game against Dallas, the last thing that you want is you have that type of performance on Saturday night, and you follow that type of performance with a loss at home against the Mavs without AD and without Gafford and without Lively and without a lot of these other key players that Dallas doesn't have. So at least for me, it was, okay, yep, a lot of attention. Yes, they're playing Dallas, ESPN, TNT. Everybody's trying to hype this game up. And I'm not saying that there wasn't hype to this game, but what would have been really disappointing, and it was kind of playing out this way, I was mentioning this morning, is that what had been really disappointing is 3-4 minutes left to go and the game is up for grabs. And that's kind of what was the case here, but the Lakers closed it out towards the end. Had a lot of good defensive stops to close out the game. And then Luka still got to kind of do what he does. He did get his triple-double. I thought Bron kind of took over in that fourth quarter, really added this element for the Lakers that it felt like they desperately needed. I'm looking at some of the team stats here because it just wasn't him. There's a player that continues to deliver for the Lakers, and I don't know how much I'm trying to talk about him more and more. I thought Rui had another good game, another 6 of 12 from the field, 15.6 rebounds. You got a couple other guys that I'm not telling you was great because Dorian Finney-Smith has not been the offensive player that the Lakers need him to be. They do need him to hit his shots. I mean, he was almost 45% when he was playing in Brooklyn. Just 2 points for him, but 8 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 block shots. I think everybody knows what Jared Vanderbilt brings to the table, so I don't really have to talk about him. But he did hit 2 threes. I wasn't expecting that. 8 points, 3 of 5 from the field. Dallas was basically saying, we're going to pick our poison here. And they would, much rather see the Lakers have Vando shooting a shot in the quarter than any other players. So, again, a number of players contributing, offensively for the Lakers. Luka was just 1 of 7 from 3. Ruiz was just 2 of 6 from 3. Dorian Finney-Smith was 0 for 3. Gabe Vincent was 0 for 4. Dalton Connect was 1 for 4. Lakers only shot 27.5% from the three-point line. The reason why I point that out is because if you can get this type of win shooting that poorly from the three-point line, you kind of take it and go. I'm at a stage right now, at least for me, when it comes to Lakers basketball at this stage, right? They've been playing some good ball, so you're going to give them some rope. For the most part, they've been beating good teams. It wasn't just the win against Denver either. They've been beating some other good teams in the process. Sometimes you just want to grab a win and move the hell on. And there's a little bit of that tonight. There's I'm sure a lot that they can learn from. Again, I said this when I started the post game that I'll give Dallas a lot of credit because Dallas was not one of those teams tonight that just kind of came in and decided, all right, well, this is Luka's night. We'll call it a day. You know what? We'll make excuses because we don't have a lot of our guys. I thought they played tough. So give Dallas their credit, but the fact that Lakers walk away with a win, you're just trying to keep pace with these other teams in the Western Conference in the standings. At least that's what I'm looking at. And seeing the win tonight, they're 14 games over 500. They've won 3 games in a row. You get a little bit more cushion on the Clippers, who are in the number 6 seed, a little bit more cushion on the Rockets, who are in the 5 seed. And then, of course, you're still trying to chase Denver and Memphis. All right, let me look at some of the comments here, and then we'll get ready here in a little bit. As soon as JJ Redick talks, we'll throw JJ Redick on there as well. Love the defense in the fourth. LeBron took the show. Francis, I appreciate the super. He did take the show, and it wasn't forced. One thing that I noticed with LeBron tonight that was a little bit different than maybe the game on Saturday night against, I don't know how much different it was, but he was completely okay with, hey, Luka, you want to drive this thing, go ahead and drive it. But LeBron also understands, all right, nights he's going to have to take over a game. And in the fourth quarter tonight, he took over the game. I thought Dallas was playing really good defense for the most part on Austin Reeves. I mean, really that entire second half, they were great on Austin Reeves defensively. I thought they made Luka's night pretty difficult. Luka, taking some shots that were tough shots, maybe taking tough threes because the defense was so good on him, was only 1 of 7 from 3. But LeBron kind of sensed it. All right, I got to take over in this game. Let me take over. LeBron only took 17 shots. He was 11 of 17 from the field, hit 50% of his threes, still had 12 rebounds, the 27 points. I mentioned the 6 turnovers. You can't have that. Obviously, that's an area of LeBron's game that, you don't want to see that. I don't think there's any NBA fan that doesn't understand that you can't have 6 turnovers, but he did take over the fourth quarter. So I'm kind of wonderful. Thank you for the super, brother. Low-key, Kyrie's the best scorer in the NBA, no cap. All right, how many different times in tonight's game were you just enjoying the game? The game's on TNT, and you're kicking back, and you just see Kyrie, how fluid. Greg Anthony said something during the broadcast on TNT. He said, you can't rush him. He's going to go at his own speed. His body just man, I don't really even know how to explain it. It's like there's such a natural flow to his game. It's art. It's beautiful basketball. Now, the problem with Kyrie is he doesn't have enough help. So because he doesn't have enough help, there's a lot of shots that he has to take towards the end of the game where he's almost forcing it because they're basically saying, we'll let anyone shoot but Kyrie. Clay had a moment too there in that fourth quarter where he went off, so give Clay some credit as well. But I'm looking at Kyrie's stats here real quick. 12 of 27, 5 of 11 from the three-point line, 35.7 rebounds, 4 assists. If Kyrie had help, which help is coming, he's going to have some bigs, and there's going to be a lot more attention that's going to go to Anthony Davis and some of those other players, and certainly he had help when Luka was there as well. But I don't think he's going to take 27 shots. I think he'll probably take closer to 18 to 20 shots, and they'll be better quality shots. But to go with your point there, it's fun to watch him play basketball. That's a beautiful thing to watch him play basketball. Taylosh, Kyrie got that Kobe buff from sitting next to his statue before the game. That was a cool, I don't know if you guys saw that, but not the statue that's by the main entrance. There's another statue. Actually, it's over kind of where the media entrance is. Kobe and Gigi statue, and there's some photos and videos of Kyrie just kind of acknowledging the statue, sitting there and on his own. So Kyrie's great. There's no other way to put it. I actually think this. I was talking about this morning, that I think Dallas is going to be a real problem in the West if they're healthy. They play hard. They play really hard. And I haven't watched Dallas that much this year, and I certainly haven't seen them. Only time I saw them was when their first game with Anthony Davis, he plays in that first half. They're blowing out Houston. Lakers had a game, really, I think might have been Lakers and Pacers that day. But it was a Saturday afternoon game, and Dallas had a game as well. I watched a little bit of that game, but I haven't really seen them. They play tough. I think if they're healthy, they're going to be an issue in the playoffs. They will. They'll be an issue in the playoffs, and Kyrie will only obviously look a little bit different because of some of the things that we're talking about, where he'll get the opportunity to do a little bit more with some more weapons on the team. Win is a win. Lakers 3-game winning streak. And I want to say 13 of 16, something along those lines. All right, JJ's talking right now. Let's take a quick listen. Here's Redick on the win.
Didn't do a good job of getting to our spacing throughout the game. Finally got 3 people down the floor, corners filled. We kept going to empty side stuff. Wasn't working. Just got spaced, and we got to our proper matchups and all that stuff. I mean, we created good offense at different points in the game when we did that. When we didn't get good offense. But I think overall, like again, Bron just kind of took over that game and felt like he was making a lot of plays with the ball and made some plays that don't show up on box score. Our guys' defense that last 5.5 minutes to hold them to 8 points. Our guys were just scrambling everywhere, and Bron was sort of at the head of that. Made a little adjustment in that timeout with Luka's coverage, just put him in a drop and just a little curveball, and thought we did a good job with that. And then, we don't win the game if Bron doesn't take over. And we don't win the game if Doe doesn't make 3 massive plays. Again, another one that won't show up on a box score, but Luka drives against the switch. He sets the Gortat screen. Luka gets the layup. He finally gets an actual dunk on the tip dunk, and not just touching the rim while he puts the ball through. And then the back tap steal on Kyrie that led to a Rui basket. So I just thought, he led the charge down the stretch of just making winning basketball plays.
JJ, how do you feel like Luka handled the emotions of tonight?
I thought he handled it well. Not a great shooting night, but made a lot of plays and had some good defensive plays as well. I just thought, he clearly was worked up to start the game. That's to be expected. But I thought he settled in. But I think some of the stuff with our offensive shooting woes was due to some organization problems and some spacing problems, and that affected everybody, and that affected him as well.
JJ, 2 for you to kind of piggyback on what you said about Dorian. since you've gotten him, there has been kind of, I think, a through line in the overall team's ability and when it comes to the little things. How does he set the tone for that stuff? And did you feel that kind of late on those plays you mentioned? And then I guess secondly, LeBron has been on this run now for a month plus, but defensively, he's been one of your best players. How?
Again, he defies what's normal. I would say with Doe, occasionally he needs some, what's the opposite of gentle? Some harsh needling, but he can take it, and then he's right back at it. He normally does a fantastic job of just setting the tone with the toughness. And, we had some fun yesterday with the team defining what a banshee is in different cultures, and define what a banshee is in Laker culture. And I think, Doe's a banshee. He leads that charge for us and sets the tone with winning basketball plays. And again, this is not an exaggeration. If you watch our basketball team every night, and you've watched our team now for the last 6 weeks or so, LeBron is playing at an all NBA defense level. He is. And now, people may have perceptions of what he is as a defender. I watch it every night. He doesn't get scored on in isolation if teams do try to target him. He blows plays up. He's always in the right position, shifting, recovering. I think there was this perception of him at this age, like conserving energy. No, there's no conservation of energy on that end of the floor. He's played elite defense now for a while.
All right, we'll stop it right there. That is JJ Redick. So you heard JJ talk about a few different things, giving a lot of praise to LeBron. He should. LeBron took over in the fourth quarter, made it happen. Lakers don't get that win without LeBron's contributions there in the fourth quarter. Praising LeBron for what he's doing defensively. I will say this. There were some possessions where I'm watching Bron. It wasn't just Bron, but it was the entire team. They're kind of all over the place on defense. I mean, rotating like crazy, really communicating well. Sometimes they got this small ball lineup, so it's easier for them to kind of rotate around, leaning towards wherever Kyrie is, kind of forcing Kyrie to have to pass the ball, and then that rotation getting back and everybody gets back into place. They've done a really good job. And you saw it. It wasn't just tonight against Dallas. You saw it against the Denver Nuggets. You've been seeing it. I'm still trying to figure out, well, how the hell are they still this effective on the defensive side when AD's not there anymore and Max Christie's not there anymore? I think we all talked about it, right? Once that trade went down, it's like they're going to really struggle this year defensively. They've been pretty good defensively. Did you guys notice this? I noticed this during the game too, which the broadcasters definitely mentioned a couple of times. Referees kind of let them play. Okay. I'm okay with that. Yeah, how many times is there the one thing I'd like for all these players is just to complain less. I feel like every player feels like they get fouled on every possession, but I kind of like the physicality. I prefer the physicality. And I don't know what's really changed, and I don't know how much of an emphasis this is from the league to just say, you know what, we want to blow the whistle less. There's already so many stops during games. We want to blow the whistle just a little bit less and let this be a little bit more, let the excitement build up a little bit. I like that. I got no issues with that at all. I hope the NBA continues to do that because there were a couple of possessions and some of them that went against the Lakers. So it's not even like this was benefiting the Lakers. There were times where PJ Washington, I thought, or I don't know, you pick a player, Max Christie or one of these other guys were kind of bodying up a Laker and they didn't call it. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. As long as you don't call it on the other side, I'm okay with that. I think people like that style. All right, let's see some more comments here, and we'll keep the show going here. Art of War. Mavs almost beat the Lakers without Lively, AD, and Gafford. Yeah, I got a few comments in here about people complimenting the Dallas Mavericks. I don't blame you. I completely agree with you. I think if I think when the dust settles, if the Mavs are healthy, they're top 4 in the Western Conference. And I don't mean top 4 in the standings. I mean top 4 as in one of the top 4 teams in the West. That's what you would, obviously imagine. I mean, hell, if they're trading Luka, you got to imagine that exactly what they're trying to do is put themselves in a position to compete this year. But it's a big if. I mean, that's the thing that to have that many guys out, you're hoping for a lot to get healthy. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here. All right, here's another one here. Clay is still a very streaky shooter. 100% he is. He's streaky, but when he gets going, and listen, it's not the same Klay Thompson as it used to be. I mean, Klay's body is not also the same, and he's at a stage in his career where if he can have a night like tonight every once in a while, I'm sure that's a huge benefit for the Dallas Mavericks. Definitely not the same player that he used to be. It's a good comment here. LeBron was letting Luka and the team have their moments. He picks his spots, and he did it perfectly. Go somewhere, Bron haters. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the last point there. I don't know how many haters there are here. If you were watching the game tonight and you don't want to give LeBron credit, then we're not watching the same game. LeBron was really good tonight. And he was really good at a stage of the game where they needed him to be really good, obviously towards closing time. So definitely should be getting the credit that he did get. All right, let's see some more comments here. You see those easy buckets LeBron had from Luka passes. LeBron had some great post-ups and easy buckets. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that I will say when it comes to what makes that combination so unique. Luka is such a good passer, and LeBron is instinctively one of the plays that I think you're talking about right now. Let me see what it is here. I want to see one of the what did you say? Oh, the great post up. There was a play LeBron had that was part of a really good defensive play. I think Najee Marshall or PJ Washington tried to get the ball to the basket, and LeBron was involved in that play, and then starts sprinting the other way, and it's Max Christie that he seals off, and Luka just notices, like, yeah, I just throw this beautiful pass over Max Christie's head. Bron is smart enough to seal, gets the easy. I think the lead went from 3 to 5. It was really when the Lakers kind of started pulling away in the fourth quarter. So I think, Jonathan, what you're talking about, that combination of those two plays, and that's not the first time we saw it against Denver when Luka had a pass that was basically right over Michael Porter Jr., right in between Michael Porter and Aaron Gordon, hit him perfectly like a quarterback hitting a wide receiver, and went in for an easy dunk. Yeah, that combination of those two, because they both pass so well, and LeBron is just such a high IQ player. I think we're going to see a lot of that for a while here. All right, Luka's talking. Let's take a quick listen to Luka here.
I can't even explain what it was. A different game. Like I said, sometimes I don't know what I was doing, and I'm just glad it's over. Honestly.
Luka, you obviously the emotions and stuff from the trade and the 7 years you've spent in Dallas aren't going to be undone in a night. But does playing them and being able to kind of put at least a tiny bow on it, does that help you, or do you think that will help you as you move ahead now that this is like out of the way?
Yeah, definitely will help me. I think, especially like I said, I'm glad this game is over. And just a little bit, like you said, it's definitely going to help in the long process.
Luka, coming into tonight, a lot of your teammates expressed excitement for you to have this game to come to be a play against the Mavericks. What did their excitement do for you? I guess, how did you feel, their energy, not just tonight, but coming into tonight for you?
Sorry, can you repeat?
How did you feel your teammates' energy, galvanize around for you coming into tonight?
It was great. Like I saw Dodo say, we got his back, and it was amazing. They're trying to push me. I know I didn't play great, but, I'm glad we got the win, and, they're trying to push me more and more.
A few weeks into this, what have you learned about playing with LeBron after watching him for all of these years? And also, how is the defense growing as a team?
Yeah, I think our defense has been, we're playing at a high level. But, I know a lot of things about LeBron. Just watching him every day, I can learn so many stuff. And, it doesn't change my mind. He's an amazing guy to watch and play with him.
Hi, Luka. Just a two-part question. One, I don't know if you saw Nico Harrison was there on the court when you were warming up, and then sitting right behind the Mavericks bench.
Yeah,
If you
Ramona.
thought about going over to him or saying anything to him at all. And then just the second part is, have you ever had anything like this trade happen to you in your life? Like whether, I don't know, a breakup or something like that. Have you ever had anything like this experience?
No, definitely not. That was different. I definitely didn't have like that. But yeah, I didn't see him at warmups.
Not at all. Not at all. Just in the warm-up.
Luka, you said you didn't play well. You still had a triple-double. Can you describe what was it about your emotions that you were struggling with? And you said you had lack of sleep when you look back at this game.
Like I say, it was a weird game, different game. But I can't even explain what kind of emotions were. It was just a lot of emotions, seeing the guys out there, seeing the guys I played. I went through a lot with the guys, so it was fun.
Luka, you have the handshake with Kyrie that you guys had in Dallas to start this game here. You go over to see Derek Lively after the game. Is there a specific moment, maybe with your old teammates, that you can share with us what that was like?
I mean, yeah, Kai is my hermano. We go way beyond basketball, so it was good to see those guys. Like I said, we went through wars together, and it was really fun to see them all.
Luka,
one more.
Were you looking for some kind of closure with what happened tonight to allow you to move on? And if so, did you feel like you got that?
I mean, the closure is going to take a while, I think. It just it's not ideal. But, like I said, I'm glad this game is over. It was a lot of emotions. But we go little by little, and every day is better.
Good. Luka, if I could take you away from basketball for just a moment. You've mentioned
All right,
the joys of being a dad. When your baby girl gets older and she's facing a new transition in life, what advice do you think you'll give her?
You caught me with that question. I don't know. I would just, support my little girl and anything she do. I'm happy to see her grow up, and I want to be there for her.
All right, stop it right there. Keep things going here. All right, so that's Luka getting a chance to we will get a chance to kind of keep going here. Okay. All right, let me look at, I start some comments here. Let me take a look at some more of your guys' comments. Let's see what we got here. Dotan, thank you very much for the super brother. I appreciate you very much. Funny people think the Lakers don't adjust if the missing Dallas players were there. You take each game as they come, folks. I think I get Laker fans saying, hey, that game was too close for comfort for how many Dallas players were missing. Anthony Davis wasn't playing in this game. We know who was out. But those are some key pieces that are out, of course, especially Anthony Davis. So I think there was probably some expectation of, Lakers are going to come in and kick their ass. By the way, I think they covered. I think, what was the spread here in tonight's game? I think it was 7. It was 6 or 7, something like that. Lakers won by 8. So when the dust settled, but the game was a lot tighter than you thought it was going to be. I think that's very natural. I think it's natural for, I didn't think the game was going to be this close. I didn't. So I do think it's natural for people to say to themselves, hey, I thought this game was going to be, I didn't think it was going to be so tight. Here it was kind of coming down to the last few minutes of the fourth quarter. So I don't think that's a big shock to me that people, obviously were thinking that way. All right, let's keep going here. And Dotan, I appreciate the super brother. Thank you very much for that. I don't think we're going to see Alex Lynn all that much. Yeah, the problem isn't the money. The problem is the roster spot. Now I wish he ended up going to Indiana, but we'll see. If teams are going to have, there's going to be teams out there that, obviously as you get closer to the playoffs, You just want to have some more size, but I don't know how much they're going to use Alex Lynn. That's just the truth of it, right? Ronan LA, Dalton Knecht gave Thompson the same 3 on the same play 3 times in a row. I see why they moved him. Yeah, that was a vet absolutely working a rookie. And Clay had Dalton on some skates for a while there. And it wasn't even like Klay Thompson was crossing him over. That's not going to be part of his game. It was just using his body properly, throwing the right pump fake at the right time, and Dalton Knecht was gone. And it's like, you're right. Clay hit 3 threes in a row, and I don't know how many of those was on Dalton Knecht, but it felt like everyone was. When KD, Booker, and Beal are combining for 80 and they're still losing games, you know it's bad over there. They lost in overtime. I saw the score for a quick second. It was like 150-something or 140-something, whatever it was. Yeah, Phoenix they're not a problem. They're just not. You can't win if you don't play defense. The Lakers will be dangerous in the playoffs. I still think we need more time on this team. I really do. I think a lot of people, it was very easy to, get incredibly excited after they beat Denver the way they did. And I'm not even talking about tonight's win, but I'm talking about, can we see where they are by the time we get to mid-March? You're going to get so many good matchups over the course of this next 3 weeks. Then you're going to know what the Lakers are. But I think right now you should be excited about them. I think there'll be a headache. If you're in a 7-game set and you got to deal with LeBron and Luka and their adjustments after every game, and JJ Redick as well. I was listening this afternoon. I was listening to The Ringer, and Bill Simmons was doing his podcast. And Bill Simmons, who's not a Laker fan, was throwing a lot of compliments the Lakers' way and was throwing a lot of compliments towards JJ Redick's way. So that tells you, even someone like that, kind of game-recognizing game, a lot of people are also looking at, hey, don't just compliment the players. Also spend time complimenting the Lakers head coach and JJ Redick. And I just bring that up because if you are talking about a playoff series, obviously your head coach is going to be incredibly important in that mix. All right, let's get a couple more comments here as we keep going. I appreciate you guys hanging out, by the way. Vando takes Cam's minutes. Oh, yeah, that. All right, here's the reality. Cam Reddish, and maybe there will be some opportunities for him at some point, the rest of the season. But the reality is when Jared Vanderbilt came, when Dorian Finney-Smith got traded to the Lakers, that was kind of a wrap that those guys were going to clearly get minutes. And frankly, here's another guy that's really playing well over this last, what do we say, over the last month now? How good has Rui been? Kind of quietly. Rui Hachimura every single night has been there. And you guys know how critical I was of Rui for, the first 3 months of the year? Rui's been really, really good and really, really impressive. So a lot of credits going there as well. Bron's talking. Let's take a quick listen, see what Bron's got to say. Obviously, big game for LeBron and a huge fourth quarter.
LeBron, there was obviously a lot of anticipation for this game and this matchup. How did you feel that Luka handled the emotions tonight?
As well as you can. I mean, obviously, it's a lot of emotion that goes in when you give so much to a franchise and you sacrifice for a franchise, and you have that type of love and respect for the franchise. And throughout all the journeys, went to the finals, all that stuff. And he's grown from being an 18, 19-year-old kid to now 25-year-old man and family and all that stuff. So you grow into a family with the franchise. And, when you move on or they move on from you, it's very emotional, obviously. It's very taxing. And, it's probably a lot of things that was going on in his head that probably didn't even involve the game itself, So, and with that said, I thought he handled it tremendously.
LeBron, in the first quarter, the team showed a video honoring Anthony Davis's return. And I know maybe sometimes you're not locked into what's going on the video screen. One, did you see it? And two, how did it hit you the way, obviously, the Lakers fans received him upon his return?
No, I definitely saw it. I watched it from start to finish. I mean, we know what AD was to this franchise and what he did for this franchise from the moment we got him, to hosting the Larry O'Brien Trophy, to All-Star nods to, we won the in-season tournament, first inaugural in-season tournament, and many dominant nights. Not only in this building but also on the road as well. And obviously, our friendship goes without saying. He was one of my best friends, and it was great to see him get that recognition and him get that moment.
LeBron, you had 16 points in the fourth quarter, but I think Dorian had 2. But there was a closeout in the corner, a Gortat screen that got Luka layup, and that poke away steal. Just what have his sort of intangibles meant to this team as it's kind of redefined itself here over the last 6 weeks or so?
Yeah, we knew exactly what we was getting when we got him. We knew we'd get things in the box scores, and then there would be things that didn't show up in the box score. He's just a winning player. He makes winning plays. And like you said, those 3 plays right there down the stretch, the Gortat screen, getting Luka that layup when the game was tied. I drove left on one of my possessions and missed a floater, and he tip-dunked it in, and then be able to get a tip from behind and got us another easy basket. 3 of the biggest plays of the game. So, you got guys like Dodo. You just know that he's always going to make winning plays no matter wherever, from the first to the fourth quarter.
Hey, Bron, you're no stranger to the emotions of these big games and the pressure. Obviously, completely different circumstances, but playing against Cleveland for the first time after going to Miami comes in mind. What was your advice for Luka tonight?
No, I didn't have none, man. Obviously, we understood as his teammates that we wanted to try to get this win for him. Obviously, we know what transpired not too long ago. So, as his teammates, we wanted to try to back him no matter how, in any way, shape, or form, on the court, off the court, whatever, and I'm happy that I was, along with my teammates, able to make a couple plays down the stretch to get him this win. I know you probably won't say it, but I think it means something to him for sure. Anytime you face your former team, you spent 7 years with them, I believe. So.
All right, we'll stop right there. That's Bron talking about the Lakers win 16 points in the fourth quarter. I thought he had 14, so 16 points for him. A complete baller, obviously making it happen, and was big in the win tonight. Quick shout out here. I want to give some love to our partner here. I've been telling everybody here in the post-game show. I've been telling everybody on the Sleba show as well. By the way, Sleba show tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Please be a part of that. Been telling everybody about Brad Wallace and the Wallace firm. Great person who I not only consider a friend, but I've known for about 5 years now. He's given me great advice since I left 710 ESPN of just the business side of things. He's an entrepreneur. He owns his own business and obviously owns the Wallace firm as well. Used to advertise with me when I was at 710, and now here he is following me on YouTube. If you or someone was in a serious injury, you should reach out to Brad Wallace and the Wallace firm. Let him walk you and your family through your legal options. Of course, it's very intimidating. It's a daunting process. I'm not an expert. He is. He can help anyone in the state of California. So if anybody needs me to make an introduction, again, this is for somebody that's in a position where they've been seriously injured or they're dealing with a loss of a loved one. Obviously, it's not a situation. I hope you guys never have to reach out to him. But if you do and you need somebody within this industry, Brad Wallace can help you. The Wallace firm can help you. And I can make a personal introduction if needed. The URL out here, wallacewins.com/Sliwa. wallacewins.com/Sliwa. Get a free consultation. Partners like this are a big part of help growing the channel. And I hope I can do well for his business as well. If anybody needs him, trust me, he'll be able to help you. All right, let's keep things moving here. I do want to look at some of the comments here as we keep the show rolling. Got a lot of live comments going on here. By the way, if you're here and you've yet to subscribe to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Trying to close in on 31,000 subscribers. What are we about? Maybe 400 short, something along those lines. So would really appreciate if you guys can help on that front. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, I saw a couple. Here's one question. What do you think about the refs tonight? Zach, I appreciate the super. There were some bad calls. There was a foul that LeBron taking the ball to the basket, got hit by P.J. Washington. They didn't call it. It was a foul. There was, and I think on both sides, I don't think it was one way or the other, but I thought the refs were very average. But what I did like about the refereeing. I like that they let them play. Let these guys play. Nobody wants to see this, nobody wants to see this, the referees. Nobody's there to watch the referees. Let's put it that way. As an example, who got a tech early? It was Luka, but Luka got fouled. So he clearly missed the call. I think sometimes I want refs to have a longer leash when they probably should have blown the whistle. But this is something I will say this about Luka. Complains too much. Used to complain too much in Dallas. So I think the more comfortable he gets with the Lakers, probably the more he's going to be complaining as well. That just it feels like that just kind of comes with the territory when it comes to when it comes to Luka. All right, let's see one here. Natalia, I don't want to see the Mavs in the playoffs. What do you guys think? Let's assume here that the Mavs are healthy. Anthony Davis is ready to go. Lively's ready to go. Gafford's ready to go. And you still got the Kyries and the Spencer Dinwiddies and some of these other players. PJ Washington. How do you think a 7-game set against Dallas would go? I will say this. That is not an easy out. That would not be an easy out, period. I was talking about this a little bit this morning. This morning I was talking, and by the way, you're going to have to go through good teams anyway, so it's kind of like it is what it is. What you don't want to see is I don't want to see the Mavs first round, right? And then OKC second round or Denver second round, and then OKC in the Western Conference. I mean, it would be nice that you don't have to play probably, what I would say in some combination or probably, okay, we know OKC is the best team in the Western Conference. We know that the second best team, who do you want to put? You want to give it to Denver? I'll give it to Denver. I don't know if I'm sold on Memphis. I don't know if I'm sold on Houston. Golden State, I think, needs more time. We'll see what they are with Jimmy Butler. But Dallas that's a good team. That's a good team. Let me see what some people think. I think it's going 7, but I want to see Luka versus Dallas, LeBron versus AD and Kyrie. Tell you what, phenomenal matchup in the playoffs. Are you kidding me? You don't think the NBA be salivating right now? I read this quote this morning. Kevin Garnett was on All the Smoke on that podcast. And he's like, I got it in my crystal ball. It's going to be Lakers and the Mavs in the Western Conference Finals. So he was already picking that those teams are going to face each other in the playoffs. Mavs win 4-3. I like people being honest. All right, we got too many Mavs people in here now. It'd be a really good series. Let's put it that way. Oh, you're right about this. Sam, you're right. They got Caleb Martin as well. That's a nice player as well. That's another nice piece, nice addition for them to have on that team as well. All right, let's look at some more of these comments here. PJ shot 0-9 with 0 points, 7-2 Derek Lively, AD 7 gaff, Caleb Martin. That's going to be difficult. I'd rather see Denver personally. PJ Washington's a good player. Let me tell you guys what happens to players like PJ Washington. If you're in a game where PJ's got to take, I didn't know he went 0 for 9, so I wasn't even looking at him. 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 block shots, but couldn't hit a shot if his life depended on it. PJ Washington's not supposed to be a shot creator. PJ Washington is supposed to get some easy buckets, attention on other guys. He can hit wide open threes. That's how he thrived last year with so much attention on Luka and Kyrie. All right, let's take a look at some more comments here. Playoffs would be JJ and Jason Kidd equals coaching haymakers. Yeah, that's a fun. I like that we're seeing so much now. I think some recognition going towards JJ Redick. He deserves it. He really does. Ashwin, who, by the way, is a member. I'm going to be honest. I'd rather play Denver than the healthy Mavs. Matchup nightmare for us, in my opinion. The bigger question for them is just going to be, are they going to be healthy? I mean, that really is going to be the question for them. Can we get 5 new members on this postgame show tonight, whether live or recorded? 5 new members. I'm going to share with everyone a link here. If you want to be a member, it's $3 a month. It's an MVP member. It's a great way to support the channel. I had exclusive content on Sunday, 1 hour show, 1 hour Q&A just for members. And I'm going to continue to have more ideas that are going to be for members. It's not going to stop me from doing, any of my current content. I'm going to continue to do that. But would love to get as many members as possible. And if you're rocking with what I'm doing and you like what I'm doing and you're in a position for $3 a month, I'd love to have you guys as a member. I just put the link in there. So keep that one in mind. That link is there. All right, let's see what else we have here. Can we get Maxey back for the playoffs? It's kind of funny. I was thinking about that a little bit earlier today. Let me come back to this. Let's see if we can catch any of Rui. I might have missed the whole thing, but let's see what we can get.
They have a lot of confidence in you.
Yeah, for sure. I think they believe in me. I think they gave me a big role this year, and I'm loving it. So I think, I have to, keep playing hard, and I got to help this team win.
Last thing from us, JJ just talked about the emotions of this, not just for Luka, for AD, for Max, for all of you. Yeah. You guys have all played together. What was that like for you navigating that? It was good to see them, again. I think I talked to Max and AD, for a little bit, but it was good to see them, and it was good to see Luka back on the court. He's been out for a while, and he's still, I think, recovering for the injury. But he looked great today too. So just little by little, I think we're gonna be fine.
Yeah. Right, stop it right there. Rui, we don't always get to hear from Rui, so kind of nice to hear from him every once in a while. Let me go back to this comment here real quick. By the way, shout out to Rui Hachimura because that guy is balling out. So give him all the credit in the world. Let me just do this real quick because I asked and people delivered. I said, can we get 5 new members? TC, thank you for being a member, brother. I really appreciate you. Thickety Wickets, thank you for being a member. I appreciate it. Thank you for being a new member. Very, very much appreciate it. Mitch Potter, who's done this before, is just gifting out 5 memberships. Mitch, thank you for doing that, brother. Basically, what that means is 5 people will get a chance to grab one of those memberships, and you get a comped membership basically for a month. And then if you like, obviously, what it is, you can stick around after that. So all of you, I greatly appreciate you guys doing that. You guys don't know how important that is to the channel. So thank you for doing that. Let me go back to Zach's comment here. No, not Zach's. Let me find the other one right here. This wasn't it, but I'll go back to the other comment that I had there on. I got to remember what it was. I'll find it. Rui bullied the hell out of Max Christie on D tonight. He's pushing him around. Completely pushing him around. Made him look like he didn't even exist, like he wasn't there. So 100%, I'm with you on that front. Let me find. There was a comment that I highlighted. And then I lost it here. I already kind of forgot what the hell I highlighted. Mitch with the no-look dimes. That's right. Mitch just Mitch just kind of does that. Mitch is Luka out there on the floor tonight. He's throwing assists every which way. 5 more assists tonight from Mitch. Thank you, Mitch. Very nice of you to gift those memberships out there. I can't find the comment I was looking at. I had it highlighted. I'm completely blanking on what the topic was. So a lot of people here, by the way, are talking about how do people think OKC is overrated? Do people believe that OKC? I've always said this about Oklahoma City Thunder. I've always said that it's very, very natural that until you see a team actually get to the NBA Finals or win an NBA Finals, you always have your hesitation on them. OKC is so young that everybody's like, hey, we know how historic of a season that they're having. We know how great they've been. But I think people are like, yeah, we're also going to pump the brakes a little bit. Minnesota, I don't know if you guys saw this last night. Minnesota and OKC played. I didn't see the game live, so I'm not going to pretend like I did, but I read about it this morning and then watched some of the highlights on YouTube. I didn't realize that Minnesota closed out the game against OKC, who the Lakers got Minnesota coming up on Thursday. I didn't know they closed the game on a 12-0 run to take the game into overtime. I didn't know they came back from 20+ down against OKC at OKC. So we'll see what happens when it comes to the Oklahoma City Thunder. But I think this came up because we were talking about other teams in the Western Conference and who you'd want to face. Do you want to face Dallas? Yeah, maybe more people are starting to think that OKC. I think OKC is solid. I think OKC is solid. I don't think you can have that good of a record and not be good. I don't think that's possible. All right, let's see what else we got here. Edson. Thank you, brother. Thank you for being a member. Welcome. Welcome to being an MVP member. What do we end up with? We got 3 members and then a 5 spot from Mitch Potter. 8 members. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it very much. All right, let's see what else we have here. And then we're going to call it a day. This is interesting. Lakers never had a problem with OKC. Guys, I think what you got to understand here, whatever that the previous version of the Lakers was, you can't take that. You can't really use that anymore. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Saturday night was a perfect example. If you thought, hey, the Nuggets absolutely own the Lakers, if that's what you thought, you can't really associate that anymore with the Lakers because Anthony Davis is gone. D'Angelo Russell is gone. They added Dorian Finney-Smith. Obviously, J.J. Redick is a new coach this year. I know Lakers have already played them earlier this year. Luka's now part of the team. So you can't really kind of tie those together anymore. That's one thing I'd say. The second thing that I would say is, on top of that, if the Lakers used to dominate Memphis, I don't know if they're still going to dominate Memphis. If they've played well against Oklahoma City, I don't know if they're going to play well against OKC because it's not the same team. So that's why, that's part of the reason why I said a little bit earlier, we got to wait till about another 3 weeks. Wait till like March 15th to kind of really know what this team is going to be, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and everything else. D'Lo never gave much. Yeah, you guys know my thoughts on D'Lo. I wasn't the biggest D'Lo fan. And by the way, you could replace D'Angelo Russell with a player like Dorian Finney-Smith, who has a specific need on this team. And really losing D'Lo as well, I think, has kind of allowed Reeves to play more on the ball and kind of make things happen. So, that trade was a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer. Thank you, Nico, for Luka Magic. I will sleep like a baby for the next decade. Sal, thank you for the super brother. I appreciate you sending that in. And I will say, I will say this is just going to continue to be a head scratcher for a lot of people for years to come. How can Dallas justify the trade? What would have to happen? Here's what would have to happen for Dallas to justify the trade. If I really just simplify it, let me just simplify it. And by the way, even this, I think most Mavs fans would say, yeah, we'd rather still have our guy Luka. The only way they could justify it is they win a championship over the next 2-3 years with this AD window, and Luka never wins a championship with the Lakers. That's probably the only way you could justify it. Because if AD got one and Luka got one as a Laker, then Mavs fans would say, well, we would have just wanted one with Luka at age 25 with the Dallas Mavericks. Like, one championship to the Mavs with Luka is more meaningful to them than one championship with the Lakers with Luka. Because I think if Luka gets one, then it's going to be like, well, you got to go get another one. That just kind of comes with the territory of the Lakers. So the thank you part, you're right about. All right, let's get another one in here. Slee, will we ever see best 16 in playoffs disregarding conference? Oh, I see what you're talking about. Oh, I wish. See Gabe go. I wish. Yeah, I wish. Give me top 16. Here's what he's saying. I think you still got to do the 8 and 8. You still got to take 8 from the West and take 8 from the East. But I would love to reseed when you get to the playoffs. Forget the conferences. Forget Eastern Conference, Western Conference. If the number 1 seed is the Oklahoma City Thunder and the number 16 seed is, I don't even know who it is, so I'm going to just pick a team. The Phoenix Suns, then go 1 versus 16. That'd be awesome. That'd be phenomenal. But I don't think they'll do that because of travel. They don't want, if it's Celtics and Lakers or Lakers and Knicks in the first round, just based on what the seedings are, they don't want first round, you're traveling all the way back and forth. Come on, these people travel well. Think they're worried about that? Keep it at 100 every day has become a new YouTube member. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody. Listen, I asked, and you guys delivered. So thank you for being members. We got you can call it 9 new members on the show tonight. So thank you very much for everybody being a part of that. I really appreciate that. Okay, so let's keep going here. To make the playoffs, you should have to be 500 or above. Not disagreeing with that. The bottom half of the East sucks. Can I see something here real quick? Let me see how bad the East is. What do we got here? Oh, geez. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. I didn't realize that. You guys want to look at this with me? Let's look at this together. Let's all look at this together and sing Kumbaya at the same time. My God, that's terrible. All right, let me see this here. I did not realize that's how bad. Look how bad the East is. So give the Pistons a lot of credit. Top 6 seed, Cade Cunningham, killing it, 32-26. This is your top 6. Look at the play-in tournament teams. Now Orlando's beat up, so I feel bad for them. Atlanta's 4 games below 500. Miami's 26-30. What happened to Miami? Jeez. Chicago's 23-35 and still have a chance to make the playoffs because they would be in the play-in. You win 2 in a row, you go from there. My God, that's awful. The 10th seed in the West is 29-28, 1 game over 500. Wow. The 10th seed in the West would be sitting in the number 7 spot in the Eastern Conference. Awful. Yeah, I had to show that because I had to make sure what I was looking at, what I was looking at was the right thing there. That's awful. That's really, really bad. All right, let's get a couple more in here, and then we're going to call it a day. I can't even laugh too hard because this was the Lakers fighting for a play-in spot recently. But, the difference was they were well above 500 record-wise. I think the problem, I don't even care that teams are in the play-in. It's you're so many games below 500 and you still got a shot to make the playoffs. That's awful. All right, Jay, just because you're asking me, I'm going to put it in here. Jay just asked how do I become a member? Jay, I just put the link in there. So you can click on that link right there, and that will walk you through it, brother. Thank you for asking. All right, let's get another one in here. East has always been weak. The elite isn't weak. Cleveland and Boston, that's as elite as it comes. I thought the Knicks were going to be better. They've been kind of surprisingly disappointing. Paulo Banchero is solid for Orlando. They just got too many injuries. Orlando's got a nice squad. They just got too many injuries. All right, let's see what else we got here. That's why the 16 best in the playoffs is a very good idea. No, I understand that. I see where you're going with that. April 9th. Yeah, this is going to be the real, I think, the fun matchup. The fun matchup is going to be Lakers, Dallas. Tonight, okay, cool. Kind of a cool storyline. But April 9th, that game's going to be in Dallas. It's his first time, coming back to Dallas. You got the Mavs crowd there. The fans are going to be there. Nico Harrison, ownership, all that stuff. That's going to be a different environment. I think that's the game to pay attention to is April 9th. Plus, by the way, you also have just standings wise, where's everybody going to be? It's at a time of the season where you're coming towards the end of the year, so that one's going to be really, really good. All right, let's see what else we got here. Jay, thank you, brother. Thank you, buddy. You got us to 10 new memberships for the show, so thank you, brother. I appreciate you, buddy. And then, of course, Mitch with the assists for everybody. Got 5 new members. Mitch gifted out 5 memberships. Who fills LeBron's shoes after he rides into the sunset? Thank you for the super. Can I tell you who would be perfect? And I think you should just keep an eye on of what ends up happening to him. You know, I'd keep an eye. What happens to Giannis? What happens to Giannis in Milwaukee? Does Giannis get to a point where he says he's been very vocal about, you know, wanting to compete for championships? He's been vocal about, he thought it was good that Luka, European players, going to a Lakers franchise, a big market like that. I don't think Giannis spends his whole career in Milwaukee. Not based off anything. This is just an opinion. I don't think he spends his whole career in Milwaukee. And frankly, if he does leave, and let's say he decided he went to the Knicks or he went to the Lakers or he went to the Golden State Warriors, I'm just picking off teams. He already won a championship there. Like he's going to be a king there forever. I don't know who fills LeBron's shoes, but I got this feeling that Giannis is a player that we should all keep an eye on. And it might not be the Lakers. He could end up, like I said, maybe Giannis ends up in Miami. But that's a player that I think would be interesting. All right, people want roll call. They want roll call. All right, let's do some roll call. All right, people want roll call. I got people yelling at me left and right. Left and right. People are like, hey, where the hell's roll call? I roll call, for those who don't know, just tell me where you're tuning in from. You tell me the city you're tuning in from, what part of the state you're tuning in from, what part of the country or what part of the world. You tell me where you're tuning in from, and I will highlight it. People have spoken. Mitch is like, enough is enough. Do the roll call. Where are you guys tuning in from? Let's see where everybody's at. Albuquerque in the house. Anaheim, Philippines, thank you for tuning in. Temple City, constant on the show. DC in the house. Guadalupe, thank you for being a part of the show. Rosita, Cal State Fullerton, 1:30 a.m. out in Peru, and look at you tuning in. Thank you, JP. Appreciate you, brother. Victorville. Little Crypto, Italy. Okay, I see what you're doing there. San Clemente in the house. It's a nice area. Bangladesh, thank you for tuning in. I like that, Bangladesh. I like the way you did that. That one kind of actually really stood out. Hollywood, Murrieta, Washington State in the house. From the 818, Seattle, France in the house. France, thank you for tuning in. Vegas, North Seattle, United Kingdom, 6:30 in the morning. Look at Samuel. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you tuning in. Torrance. Nipomo, California. All right, my fault. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Pasadena in the house. Jonathan, basically neighbors. LA in the house. Philippines. Bakersfield. Honolulu in the house. The Valley. Montreal, thank you for being a part of the show. Knoxville, Tennessee. University of Newcastle, Australia, always hanging out here. Pittsburgh, California, I'm assuming Sacramento, northern Minnesota, Stockton. I'd appreciate you all being a part of the show. Hawaii, thank you for being a part of the show, and thank you for the super. Appreciate you guys being a part of the show. If I miss you, it's tough to get everyone. Oregon Coast, San Antonio. That's Oregon Coast, San Antonio, New York, 135, New York. Chiming in. Michigan. Look at Lebanon. Come on, guys. How good is Lebanese food? Oh, my gosh. Philippines, thank you. Moreno Value, thank you. Slee, you're doing it right. Got an international fan base out here. Well, I appreciate everybody that's tuning in wherever they're tuning in from. Philly, Zimbabwe. Look at Zimbabwe in the house. Those are my favorite. When I just get different places across the world. Akron, thank you very much for being a part of the show. I think we got everybody. Redlands, if I miss you, I apologize. All right, guys. I got a show coming up in the morning. I'm back on at 8 a.m. Come back and join the show at 8 a.m. We'll continue some of the conversation. We'll have some different topics coming in. If you guys have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Thank you to all our new members in tonight's show as well. Fantastic to get everybody hanging out and then becoming members. So thank you, guys. Lakers over the Dallas Mavericks, 107-99. Luka triple-double. Bron takes over in the fourth quarter. And Lakers now 14 games over 500. Thank you, everybody. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night.